this meal, I'm going a little rogue and combining two holidays for one meal. The two holidays I'm combining are Chuseok, a mid-autumn harvest festival, and Jeollal, a Korean New Year festival. Both of these holidays feature family visits, wearing hanbok, giving gifts, playing games, and of course, eating delicious food. For Chuseok, I am making Daegu-style galbi-jjim, and for Jeollal, I'm making tteokguk. Before we dive into that, I did tease in my last video I talk a little bit about Korean meal setting. It's called banchan, and as a meze lady myself, this absolutely speaks to me. Picture this. You sit down for your meal, and there is an obvious main, a soup, rice or grains, usually steamed, and all of these tiny little dishes. They range in preparation, some obviously pickles or ferments, while others are a little more fresh and raw. There's others that are completely cooked pancakes, and some feature meat, or others feature vegetables. These are banchan. Banchan are small side dishes that are thought to have come into popularity in Korea during the Buddhist ban on meat during the Samhan period. The Three Kingdoms court kitchens responded to this ban by making extravagant meals of multiple tiny vegetable dishes, all with varying techniques and flavors. But these banchans stuck around during the Mongol invasion, the fall of Buddhism, and the rise of Confucianism and meat being reintroduced into the diet. Additionally, we see gochujang get introduced more and more frequently into these banchan via the red pepper being introduced during the Joseon dynasty. But in a modern context, banchan make a lot of sense. They're a meal prepper's dream. At the beginning of the week, you can make a batch of different banchan, balancing between the flavor profiles of sweet, savory, sour, bitter, and then serve them repeatedly throughout the week, giving yourself variety and a lot of different vegetables. That's why if you look at my final meal shot, you might see that all of the banchan are exactly the same for my last meal. Back to the dishes at hand though, because I picked some interesting ones. For the main, I made galbi-jjim, a braised beef short rib dish with jujubes, ginkgo nuts, chestnuts, pine nuts, carrots, radish, a ton of delicious flavors. This dish isn't actually specifically from the Gyeongsang province, but what is specifically from this province is the Daegu style of making it, which is a spicy variation. There's actually a street in Daegu that is specifically famous for spicy galbi-jjim. For my preparation of it, this meant a hearty addition of gochugaru. For the soup, I made tteokguk. It is a rice cake soup that's quite simple and eaten all throughout Korea. If I'm being honest, it's actually a little hard to pin this dish just on the Gyeongsang province. I found one resource that was a book about the Joseon dynasty that theorizes that tteokguk made in the way that we know today